Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, the Prisoner of Azkaban is the third book in the Harry Potter series, and that means it is the third year for Harry and his friends at Hogwarts. The story starts off with Harry with his aunt and uncle getting a nice little visit from his uncle's sister. Now, this woman is an atrocious individual. She makes the Joker look like a sweet little puppy. Hell, I would rather go up against the Borg than deal with this woman. And she pisses off Harry so much that he basically accidentally uses magic and inflates her like a balloon. He then runs away from his aunt and uncle and is picked up by something called the Night Bus, which picks up wizards that are lost or need transportation. He goes to the Leaky Cauldron and he spends the rest of the summer there with Ron and Hermione. Now, while this is going on, we find out that someone breaks out of Azkaban. What is Azkaban? Well, Azkaban was mentioned a little bit in the previous books, but really it's kind of like the biggest prison for magic users. Only the worst of the worst go there, and no one has broken out until now. Someone was able to break out of Azkaban, and that someone is Sirius Black. Now, Sirius Black, Harry finds out, is kind of like a second in command to Lord Voldemort. And he was told that Sirius was responsible for the death of Harry's parents. He's the one that led the Dark Lord to Harry's parents. So Harry does not like Sirius at all. Not one bit. And apparently Sirius is after Harry. So, upon reaching Hogwarts, Hogwarts is littered with Dementors. What are Dementors? Think of Dementors kind of like Grim Reaper-looking creatures. They are flying around with black cloaks and really skinny, bony hands, and their faces all screwed up like someone was beating them up with an ugly stick for way too long. And Dementors are kind of like security guards, but they also suck the happiness out of you. And they're there to protect Hogwarts in case Sirius Black shows up. In addition to all this going on with Sirius Black, Harry needs to help win the Quidditch Cup for Oliver Wood before Oliver graduates. A new Defense of the Dark Arts teacher is introduced with Professor Lupin, and Harry gets into all the mischief and mayhem that he usually does because, well, he's Harry Potter. And breaking the rules seems to be the thing that he does best, next to Quidditch. With that said, let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, first and foremost is the Quidditch in this was the best that I've read up to this point. As I'm reviewing this, I am about 80% done with the fourth book, and the fourth book had no Quidditch in it. I do believe Quidditch comes back for at least the fifth and sixth book, but up to this point, it has the best Quidditch in it. And I know it's not a big selling point when it comes down to the story, but I like Quidditch, so I'm going to say it had a pretty good Quidditch time in there and some pretty good Quidditch moments. I also like Sirius Black's story. I like his overall story arc and his interaction with Harry, the tension and the emotion that goes on between the two. I really like Professor Lupin, and so far he's been my favorite Defense of the Dark Art teacher. Although his story arc is pretty obvious and given away right away with his name. Just think about it. I'm sure you can figure it out. But he's actually a pretty cool character, and I've heard he comes back later on in the books, and I'm eager to see when he does. The characters are all portrayed nicely in this, and we do get a great immersion into the Harry Potter world, which is what I like. You know, we get to go to the classes, we get to go off to this town that is next to Hogwarts, where all the third year and above students can go to, and it's a nice immersion into that Harry Potter universe. So that's good. And the ending is really nice. Probably the best wrap-up ending for a Harry Potter book up to this point, for the first three books. Bad. The overall plot, well, wasn't bad per se. It really wasn't overwhelmingly present. It was always something in the back of your mind. While all the other stuff that's going on in Harry's world, like say the Quidditch Cup, you're always thinking, well, you know, you've got Sirius Black going on. You got this prisoner of Azkaban rolling around. I mean, while Harry's trying to find out how to defend himself against the Dementors, again, Sirius Black, the main plot, kind of takes a second string. It's kind of put to the back of your mind. It does get intense towards the end, but only towards the end. It's always been kind of just something that was always in the back of your mind throughout the story. So while the plot was good, it wasn't quite as involved as, say, the second book, which plot was very involved. The main plot was very involved for the second book. And as much as I like Sirius Black as a character, and I thought he was a really cool character, he really doesn't get any characterization until the end of the book. We get information about him, we get how Harry feels about him, and we get little peekaboos from him, like, oh no, he tore up the painting of the fat lady, and oh, he's hovering over Harry while he sleeps. Kind of creepy. But we really don't get too much of his character until the end, which is kind of sad because there are some pretty good character developing moments here, particularly with Harry and Professor Lupin, and it would have been nice to see a little bit more with Sirius Black. However, at the end, like I said, it wraps up really nicely between Sirius, Lupin, Snape, and another character who I won't reveal because I don't want to give too much away. So, it would have been nice if we had a little bit more of a Sirius Black and a little bit more character development with them. In addition to that, the last thing that really was not appealing was, and I don't want to give too much away, but there is some time travel in this, and I don't like how the Harry Potter universe uses time travel. And see, the thing is time travel in general is a difficult thing to work with. In theory, I think scientifically you can always only go forward in time. You can't go back in time. Screw that. Give me one bird of prey and the sun and let me slingshot around it. I'll go back to 1984. But anyways, what I'm saying is time travel is always a difficult thing to do. You can always create parallel universes. You can always write over the previous timeline. And there's different ways that you can deal with time travel. I just didn't like how things were handled in Harry Potter with time travel. And allow me to explain, and this is going to give you guys spoilers. So, allow me to explain. Spoilers coming up. In Harry Potter, Hermione is given something called the Time Turner. I believe it's called Time Turner. And it allows her to go to multiple classes at once. They then use this to go back in time and fix up some mistakes that are done at the end of the book. The question is this, is if we have this time turner, why don't we go back in time and kill Lord Voldemort? I know it would totally screw up the timeline, but why don't we do something like that? My friend then explained the reason why that doesn't happen is because no one actually went back and killed Lord Voldemort. In that everything that happens in our timeline right now has already been happened and altered by the person that went back in time. Which is kind of silly because if you think about it, really, it should be the individual's decision to alter time, not actually time and destiny itself that alters the person's decision. Do you get what I'm coming at? I don't really like it. He basically said the reason why Lord Voldemort's still around and no one went back in time to kill him is because no one went back in time to kill him. It was never written, and you can't go. It's silly. It's just I don't like how that was handled. I'm getting a little bit off the beaten track. That wasn't a huge big problem. That was just a minor thing. And it's not like the time turner is going to show up anytime sooner. Hopefully not. On the whole, what do I think about this book? The Prisoner of Azkaban is a mixed bag for me. On the whole, I have to say I did like this book. It had a good characterization for Sirius Black, good characterization for Lupin, some good moments at the end, a good way to wrap up the ending, even though the time travel was stupid, and did have some good moments in here. My particular is Harry competing for the Quidditch Cup. However, the plot was always kind of secondary to everything else that was happening in the universe, and we didn't really get too overwhelmingly great development from Sirius Black. I mean, he is a great character, and we did get some good development, but not great development, and it would have been nice to have him be more of a villain in this book, a little bit more of a presence, at least through the majority of the book, that Harry is worried about him. So, like I said, it's a bit of a mixed bag. When I first finished this, I really wasn't too impressed by it. But as I look back now and think about it, it was a pretty good book, and it was enjoyable. And plus, Harry gets probably one of the best items he could ever get next to the invisibility cloak. That's the Marauder's map. My God, I wish I had one of those for everywhere in life. But yes, Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I like Sorcerer's Stone and also the Chamber of Secrets a little bit more than this, but this had some pretty touching moments. I did like the characters in this a bit more than the other two. Like I said, I like Lupin. I really missed him. I really do miss him because I'm in the fourth book now and Lupin's not in it at all. But yes, that is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Pretty good book. Does definitely have its faults, but the quality stays pretty strong with this. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.